The graph of the linear function f has intercepts at a0 and 0b in the xy plane. If ab equals 0 and a is not equal to b, which of the following is true about the slope of the graph of f? There's a lot to unpack here, but let's just break it down into smaller parts. So we have the graph of a linear function f that has intercepts at this point and this point. We just don't know exactly what those points are. Further, we know that if we took the value of a and added it to the value of b, we end up with a 0. And thirdly, we are given that the numbers are not the same. A is not equal to b. So let's kind of try to figure out what this is going to have us do. I'm actually going to bring up a sketch here. Let's see if we can create a little x and y plot, y-axis and x-axis. One thing I want to quickly remind you is at the x-intercept, these are facts that you definitely need to know. At the x-intercept, y is equal to 0. And at the y-intercept, x will equal 0. So let's say that we have a line that sort of looks like this. We can see at this y-intercept, the value of x is 0. And at this x-intercept, the value of y is 0. That's what I'm trying to show you. That's the concept behind this question. And there's also another little concept that they threw in, which is the a plus b equals 0. The only time that you get a 0 after adding two numbers is if the numbers are the same number but different signs. For example, -4 plus 4. You get a 0. Another example, -7 plus 7. You get a 0. Or maybe you have a 5 minus 5. So basically the numbers have to be the same, but their signs have to be different. That's another important topic, rather concept that we want to remember. So again, we see another SAT question that's combining different concepts. Armed with that knowledge, let's try to tackle this question again. So a0, a comma 0, the y value is 0, so that's actually our x-intercept. So why don't we put it like right in here somewhere, a comma 0. The other one is 0 comma b. 0 comma b is our y-intercept. Why don't we put it right over here, for instance? Would that work or no? Probably not, because this is a positive number. This is also a positive number. When we add those, we don't end up with a 0. So that's a problem. Okay, so let's try putting it somewhere else. Maybe try putting this over here. And let's pretend that this value here is maybe like a 3. Let's pretend this over here is like a -3. Would that work? Yes, because -3 plus 3 would end up giving us a 0. So what we're saying is that the a value is +3 and the b value is -3. So if that's where the points lie, we can actually draw a line that looks like this. And what can be said about this is that the slope is positive. Anytime your slope or your line is leaning right like this, its slope is positive, or you can say the slope is rising. Remember, we read slope from left to right. So if you find yourself, if you're going left to right, you're rising or leaning right, then positive slope. Just for review purposes, let's look at what a negative slope would look like. Negative slope is a line that's slanting downward, sloping downward. In other words, falling. When the slope equals 0, well, you would have a flat line. There is no steepness to it, just a flat line. And an undefined slope is when you have a vertical line, straight up and down. But for this question, we've established that A is the correct answer.